Hello, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the ascendant sign, the ruling planet, and the house that your ruling planet resides in your natal chart. So definitely stay tuned. So if you are new to me or my page or any of my content on social media land, my name is Kay Catrice, and I am the Natal Chart Navigator, and I help open-minded, aspiring, and current business owners to find their perfect career using their natal chart and life path. And so if you are looking to figure out who you are, understand who you are using the stars and the planets at your time of birth, then you definitely want to stay tuned to this channel. Alright, so let's jump into it. So the ascendant, you may have heard people say ascendant sign, you may have heard people say rising sign. It's the same thing, okay? So the ascendant sign is the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at your time of birth, okay? And so that sign, that is the energy that you project out into the world. So when people first meet you, when they're first getting to know you, it's your ascendant sign, that energy that they are getting from you, okay? The more they get to, be around you and get to know you, then your sun sign energy will start to show, okay? The moon sign energy is like you letting somebody in your house, and so they got to be real cool with you for you to show them your moon sign energy, okay? So whatever sign is on that first house, okay, and you have to have your time of birth to get an accurate rising sign, okay? So your whatever sign is on that first house, they have a ruling planet, okay? And so the planet that governs your ascendant, regardless of where it is located in the chart or anything else in the chart, because it's the ruler, it contributes to both your sense of self and to the impression that you give to others, okay? And so I'm going to list each rising sign, and then I'm going to tell you how you strike people and what your ruling planet is, okay? And so if you are an Aries rising, your ruling planet is Mars, and so you strike people as impetuous and very strong-willed. You're a go-getter, like you don't waste time, okay? If you are a Taurus rising, then your ruling planet is Venus, the planet of love and beauty. Mars is the planet of war, aggression. It's our action, okay? And so if you're a Taurus rising, you strike people as stable and sensuous. Most Taurus rising people that I know, they are very good looking people. Libra rising as well. And so then Gemini rising, if you're a Gemini rising, your ruling planet is Mercury, which is planet of communication, okay? And so you strike people as very verbal, very talkative, very high strung. You take in information, and then you only like to be around people who are giving you interesting information, and then you take that information and you go share it with others. If you are a Cancer rising, okay, your ruling planet is the moon, and you come across as emotional and responsive. Now if you are a Leo rising, your ruling planet is the sun. That is my rising sign. And Leo risings come off as confident and exuberant. I've even had some people tell me that I come off as like really regal, like just have a really regal disposition. Now, if you are a Virgo rising, Virgo, your ruling planet is Mercury, okay? And so if when people meet you first, you come off as methodical and discerning. If you are a Libra rising, you are ruled by Venus, just like Taurus, and you come across as charming and appealing. Libra risings are very beautiful. Beyonce is a Libra rising. Now, if you are a Scorpio rising, you have two ruling planets, okay? Your traditional ruler is Mars, and your modern ruler is Pluto. And so you come across as very reserved and controlled. If you are a Sagittarius rising, your rising, your ruling planet is Jupiter, and you come across as cosmopolitan and irrepressible. Sagittarius rising people are they like to travel. They like to travel for sure. Now, if you are a Capricorn rising, Saturn is your ruler, and you come across as respectable and proud. If you are an Aquarius rising, you have two rulers as well. Your modern ruler is Uranus, and your traditional ruler is Saturn. And you come across as friendly and individualistic. My little cousin is an Aquarius rising, and he is very friendly and very individualistic. He do his own thing. He really marches to the beat of his own drum. And then if you are a Pisces rising, you have two rulers as well. Neptune is the modern, and Jupiter is the traditional. And you come across as idealistic and receptive. Now, if your ruling planet, okay, so I just told you what the ruling planets are. I'm going to talk about it in the houses, okay? So if your ruling planet is in the first house, you may be self-conscious. Well, you are self-conscious. You're a motivated person, and you're self-starter, okay? Now, if it is, and you're probably a personality, you're probably like just a vibe, a whole vibe. Now, if your ruling planet is in the second house, okay, you're security minded, you're can be stubborn, you're someone for whom material values are primary, okay. Now, let's first go back. First house, okay. First house is the house of self, okay. So that's why if your ruling planet is in your first house, you'll be a self-starter. You'll be a personality, like, because it's all about self. So you're focused on self, okay? Now, just depending upon the, whatever sign is on that first house is how that energy will be expressed, okay? In the planet, how the planet will express that energy. Now, if your second house is all about, material possessions, personal finance, your self-worth, okay? And so if it's in the second house, you'll be security minded. You can be stubborn. Someone for whom material values are very, very important. It's like one of the top things on your mind. Now, if your ruling planet is in the third house is the house of communication, short distance travel, siblings, early education. And so you may be busy and restless. A very good communicator and master of small talk, okay. Fourth house is the house of home and your private, who you are as a private person, home, family. And so if your ruling planet is in the fourth house, you may be someone who appreciates domestic living. You appreciate, taking care of the family and, doing all of the things. Okay, that has to do with nurturing. Fourth house is all about nurturing. Now, fifth house is all about creativity. And so if your ruling planet is in the fifth house, you're going to be someone who wants to have fun. You are probably going to be a hopeless romantic, an entertainer, a very devoted parent, and a very creative soul, because fifth house is the house of fun and creativity and children. Now, sixth house is all about, your daily work routines, your health, and your health habits. And so if you have your ruling planet in the sixth house, you are probably health conscious. a hardworking person. You're someone who finds their identity within their job, what they do for a living, what they do for their day to day. Okay. Now your seventh house, if you have your ruling planet in your seventh house, you are a confidant and companion. Partnerships are central to your being. I was looking at someone's chart. They're Leo rising, but their sun is in their seventh house, which is of Aquarius. And so she is very much partnership oriented. Like when she is in a relationship, it must feel like a true partnership, because if not, she can't deal with it. She won't deal with it. Now in the eighth house, if your ruling planet is in the eighth house is the planet of sex, death, taxes. It's other people's resources. And so eighth house, if your ruling planet is in the eighth house, you are a sharp-eyed observer, a questioner, and a magician. So you can turn base metal into gold. Ooh. Now, if your ruling planet is in the ninth house, okay, ninth house, that's all about the higher learning, religion, philosophy, things of that sort. And so if your ruling planet is in the ninth house, you are an explorer and a thinker. You are adventurous and probably very opinionated. Now, if your ruling planet is in the 10th house is about your career and status, your public persona. And so if your ruling planet is in the 10th house, you are an achiever, you are a leader, you are a person of prominence. You are going to, when you set a goal, you're going to crush it, okay? If your ruling planet is in the 11th house is the house of friends and community, the house of dreams coming true. And so if your ruling planet is in that house, you are a friend, and you are someone who has high hopes and aspirations. Now, if your ruling planet is in the 12th house is the house of endings. It's the house of the subconscious, of confined areas, things like institutions, hospitals, jails. The subconscious. And so if your ruling planet is in the 12th house, you are a hermit and a spiritual seeker. Very, very spiritual. All right, so I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please do go ahead, share it out so that others can find value as well. Also, if you are wanting to get a chart reading done with me, you can go to my email. You can go to is it Catrice? No, it's just Catrice. It's Catrice at thenatalchartnavigator.com, and you can book a reading. But all of the info to book, it will be in the description box below. So you can go ahead and get that if that's what you're choosing to do. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys on the next video.